Good afternoon from the KUOW newsroom. This is Seattle Now. I'm Paige Browning with the roundup of election results and today's top stories. It's Wednesday, August 6th. Starting with a malaria scare. Tacoma public health officials are investigating a case of malaria that was possibly acquired locally. The Tacoma Pierce County Health Department says the risk to the public is very low. The department says a woman in East Pierce County was diagnosed with malaria on Saturday, despite no recent travel. Officials say it's possible she was infected with the mosquito-borne illness by a mosquito that had picked up the disease from biting a different infected person. If confirmed, it would be the first known locally acquired case of malaria in Washington. The Washington Department of Health and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are helping with the investigation. Malaria typically causes fever, body aches, and sometimes vomiting and diarrhea. It can be life-threatening if not treated quickly. Outside of that case today, our primary focus is the primary election. Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell and his challenger Katie Wilson appear to be sharpening their attacks on one another. The two will likely advance to the general election. Amy Radel reports.
Harrell's progressive challenger Katie Wilson was slightly ahead of the mayor on primary night. Harrell's campaign said in a statement that they were prepared for a challenging race, adding, quote, "We're confident that once voters know more about Bruce's Seattle story and his commitment to affordable and safe communities compared to Katie Wilson's thin resume and history of fringe politics, that we will prevail in November." Wilson is a longtime organizer and head of the Transit Riders Union. Her campaign accused Harrell of failing to address the cost of living and homelessness, adding, quote, "Katie's vision of an affordable, livable city for all Seattleites has captured the imagination of our Emerald City." Both candidates raised about $500,000 in the primary. Amy Radel, KUOW News.
As of this afternoon, Harrell has slid further behind challenger Katie Wilson. She's ahead of Harrell by about 4.5 percentage points. Both handily held on to the top two spots in the mayoral race, which is what they need to advance against one another in the November general election. Progressive challengers continue to hold the top spots and expanded their leads today in the race for city attorney and city council position 9. For attorney, Erica Evans is surpassing incumbent Ann Davison, and for city council, Dion Foster's leading incumbent Sarah Nelson. The Parks levy in Seattle still has a majority voting yes, and also in Seattle, District 8 council member Alexis Mercedes Rink far outperformed challengers, with the second spot held by Rachel Savage. And for District 2, lawyer Eddie Lynn and transportation advisor Adonis Duckworth are in the top spots. In federal news, the U.S. Department of Justice released a list of cities, counties, and states this week that it plans to possibly sue because of immigration sanctuary policies. Washington and Oregon both made that list. Amelia Templeton of Oregon Public Broadcasting has more.
Both states prohibit police and county sheriffs from participating in immigration raids, holding people for ICE, or sharing information with ICE, with some exceptions. The U.S. Department of Justice has already sued New York, Colorado, and Illinois. It argues sanctuary laws jeopardize public safety. State Attorney General Dan Rayfield says Oregon's sanctuary law has been on the books since 1987 and survived legal challenges during President Trump's first term. Washington AG Nick Brown said the state's sanctuary law makes Washington safer by encouraging people to trust local police. Texas is the only state that keeps data on the legal status of people arrested for crimes. Academics who study that data have found undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than other groups. In Portland, I'm Amelia Templeton.
A couple of things to know about transit as you commute home. The Beacon Hill Light Rail Station is temporarily closed, and that's caused a domino of delays on transit in Seattle. Sound Transit says they're dealing with a mechanical issue at the station. Until further notice, light rail riders will have to get out and take a shuttle at the Soto Station for southbound travelers and Mount Baker Station for northbound travelers. Chugging along to our next story, Tacoma is suing Sound Transit for damages it says were caused by light rail construction. The News Tribune reports that in August 2022, crews damaged an electrical vault and multiple conduits, causing power outages and racking up a repair bill for the city of almost $400,000. Tacoma's accusing Sound Transit and 2 contractors of negligence. Sound Transit declined to comment to local news outlets today. How are you enjoying the rain today? Firefighters are sure happy. Fire managers say the increased humidity and precipitation is helping them fight the Bear Gulch Fire on the Olympic Peninsula, which has now burned approximately 5,000 acres. And fire bosses are now saying they don't expect the Bear Gulch Fire to be extinguished until fall or winter. Finally, today marks the 80th anniversary of the world's first nuclear attack. The Seattle Hiroshima Club will commemorate the U.S. bombing of Hiroshima this evening at Green Lake. The Hiroshima to Hope event will include music, poetry, and a lantern floating ceremony. The club says it's one of the largest Hiroshima commemoration events outside of Japan. Organizers expect to launch more than 1,000 lanterns onto the lake at 8 o'clock tonight. Next time on Seattle Now, a look back at the stellar career of Seattle Mariners outfielder Ichiro Suzuki, who was just elected to the MLB Hall of Fame.
For me, anyways, he was like the coolest player I ever watched. When he walked up to the plate, he would sort of windmill his right arm, tug on his sleeve, point the bat forward, almost as if to say, I'm going to hit the ball right through the hole there, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Hear that Thursday morning. And that's all for today from the KUOW Newsroom in Seattle. Our producer is Vaughn Jones, and I'm Paige Browning. Seattle Now and KUOW are members of the NPR network. See you soon.